Welcome to this explainer on benchmarking. If you're studying for your exams or, frankly, just want to get a deep understanding of how top-tier organizations actually measure success, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to break this whole topic down in a highly structured, really candidate-friendly way. The goal of this explainer is to help you absolutely master these concepts, figure out how to apply them to real-world scenarios, and, most importantly, help you dodge those common, tricky traps on exam day. So, let's jump right in.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're looking at 1. The basics of benchmarking. 2. Internal versus external. 3. Competitive and generic. 4. Process, performance, and strategic. And 5. Those common exam traps.
Starting with Section 1. The basics of benchmarking. What it is and exactly why we do it.
At its core, benchmarking is essentially just using reference points to compare your own organization's performance with other appropriate entities. And usually, we're talking about entities that apply leading or best practices. Why go through the trouble? Well, because it's a completely foundational tool for business process review. It's exactly how organizations drive performance improvement, ensure really stringent quality management, and handle productivity management. You aren't just staring at data for the sake of it. The whole objective is to actively identify and then actually implement actions for genuine improvement.
Now, here's a really crucial point for your exam: distinguishing between benchmarks and KPIs. Please, whatever you do, do not confuse these two. Benchmarks look outward. They are compared with the performance of others. Key performance indicators, or KPIs, well, they look inward. They're compared with targets set by your own management team. Now, sure, management might actually use benchmarking to figure out what those KPI targets should be in the first place, but the fundamental difference is that benchmarks evaluate you against the outside world, whereas KPIs evaluate you against your own internal goals.
To benchmark effectively, your processes, your operations, or your products absolutely must be captured in measurable metrics. We are talking about hard data here: money, days, percentages, or specific quantities. For instance, you might track dollar sales per head count, or you could calculate the exact number of days it takes to close the financial system each month, or maybe measure customer satisfaction percentages. You can even benchmark the days it takes from a customer placing an order to the actual delivery. Basically, if you can measure it, you can benchmark it.
Moving on to Section 2, internal versus external benchmarking, specifically where to look for your data.
First up, we have internal benchmarking, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It simply compares performance with other parts of the exact same business. Imagine you're managing a massive retail chain. You might use internal benchmarking to compare different stores within your chain using a whole range of metrics. The goal here? To easily, quickly identify your strong and your weak performers. By doing this, you can investigate exactly why your top store is outperforming everyone else, extract those valuable insights, and then apply those lessons chain-wide to fix up your underperforming locations.
But here is the crucial limitation you've got to remember for the exam: the internal weakness. Look, being the absolute best store in your own chain doesn't really mean much if your entire chain is falling way behind the external market. Strong internal performers might actually look terrible when compared to entities outside the organization. By only looking inward, organizations develop this massive blind spot, and they frequently miss out on identifying opportunities for huge transformative improvements. That brings us to Section 3, competitive and generic approaches, taking an external view.
So external benchmarking breaks down into a few types, starting right off with competitive benchmarking. This compares your organization directly against competitors within the same industry. But, as you might guess, that raises a highly practical problem. How on earth do you get direct competitors to actually share their strategic secrets with you? It's not exactly like you can just knock on their door and ask to peek at their playbook, right? They're fiercely protective. They want to beat you, not help you pass a test.
Fortunately, there are workarounds here, and these are highly testable. Organizations solve this data sharing issue by purchasing benchmarking data from specialized third-party providers. Or, another route is participating in anonymized data sharing arrangements which are administered by a neutral third party. Another really great strategy is to benchmark against peers in the same industry who just aren't in direct competition with you. Maybe they operate in completely different geographical markets, which makes them far more willing to share information.
Now, if competitive benchmarking is just too difficult or maybe too expensive, generic benchmarking is a fantastic alternative. Instead of looking at your own industry, you look at similar processes in entirely different industries. Because you aren't competing for the exact same customers, there is significantly greater collaboration and mutual benefit.
For example, you could easily learn how a leading hospital manages its patient intake process and then apply those precise queuing lessons to your bank's customer service lines. It's a really smart way to innovate.
All right, Section 4, Process and Performance Benchmarking, and also Strategic.
First is process benchmarking, which, by the way, is sometimes called functional benchmarking. This type is all about the how. It focuses entirely on identifying ways to improve specific, day-to-day procedures within your organization. It's really getting into the weeds, looking at the actual mechanics of getting work done. To really cement this in your memory, I want you to anchor process benchmarking to this specific scenario, measuring the time taken to research, develop, and bring a new product to market. Notice how this is hyper-focused on the procedure itself. You're tracking the exact operational timeline from R&D all the way to the market launch.
Next up, we have performance benchmarking. If process benchmarking is about the how, performance benchmarking is strictly about the what. It's all about the final outcomes. It assesses the actual, tangible results generated by the organization's processes.
Let's contrast it with our last scenario. Anchor performance benchmarking to outcomes. So, after you navigate the procedure of launching that new product, what was the outcome? Well, you would measure the relative sales growth to assess the true effect of that product introduction. You're looking at the final metric of success here, not the procedural steps that got you there.
Finally, we have strategic benchmarking. This one zooms way out. Strategic benchmarking looks right past daily procedures or single product sales. Instead, it is the review of entire business approaches and business models. The goal is to enhance high-level strategic planning and set the future priorities of the business. It's fundamentally comparing your entire business model against the industry leaders.
And finally, Section 5, avoiding common exam traps. Don't let them trick you.
If you take away just one mental flashcard from this explainer, let it be this one, because examiners will definitely try to trick you by mixing these terms up. Remember, process equals procedures. It's the functional timeline, like the time it takes to bring a product to market. Performance, on the other hand, equals outcomes. It's the final result of those procedures, like relative sales growth. And hey, if a question mentions shifting the overall business model, you know immediately that's strategic benchmarking. Keep these three distinct in your mind, and you will absolutely nail those questions.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. As you prepare to apply these concepts, whether that's on an upcoming exam or in your actual career, really ask yourself, how does your organization measure success? Are you caught in the trap of relying way too heavily on internal benchmarks, completely missing the bigger picture? Or are you actively utilizing external and strategic benchmarking to truly evaluate your business model against industry leaders? Because as we've seen, in the real world, just looking inward is rarely enough to stay ahead. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.